Hey, what's going on, everyone? So this one's going to be a little bit different. This one's going to be a little bit more philosophical. We're not going to be running down any news stories. I just have a couple of articles back here just as some backdrop. But I had this thought here today that it really goes to show the difference between people who never engage in hard work and just what kind of stiffs they become. You can really see that manifest in the left right now, and that's kind of why I have Bernie Sanders pulled up here. You get all of these creepy kids that just go right from kindergarten through primary school all the way through university, never really contributing anything, never doing any hard work, and then they just come out as mindless zombies. And I know that's not a total rule per se, but these are people that are never really terribly funny. These are people that don't really have too much of a personality. It's just all kind of driven out of them by the structured environment that they're in. I know for my case, I've worked a ton of shitty jobs. I've also been to college. I've got a exercise physiology degree. But at the same time, I've worked outside in 40 below weather in the oil field. I've worked back rooms in warehouses, and most recently a shitty sales job. And I think that's all character building. Like, I can tell you, I also played sports throughout school, played baseball, played football, and I've always been training since I've been, 16 years old, so I've always been hanging and banging in the gym. And it's places like that, it's that grit and determination, being around other people that may not be great at everything, but they are willing to put in the hours, willing to do the work in order to hone their skills. And you just don't get that in college, and you don't get that in university. Just hanging out with blue collar guys and just honing a craft of humor. You listen to stand up comedians talk, like, I'll just reference Jim Norton and Nick DiPaolo. Nick DiPaolo was a door to door meat salesman and also, either knives or vacuums. I can't quite remember. But those blue collar jobs, and then Jim Norton too, being a forklift driver and working in Carvel. Like, those blue collar experiences, just working with guys who are funny because thinking of the mundanity of their job, thinking of how real shit the weather is, and just trying to escape it and have a good time, making the time go by quickly. And jobs in the private sector, and not in like a high position of power, you always come across people with less and less of a funny bone. Now, this happens on both the left and the right. Don't think that it's just from the one side, except for whatever. All of the high profile examples here lately have all been on the left. Now, that's just because that they're coming out of these humorless institutions where, I don't know, everything is racist, sexist, misogynist, and you can't crack a joke. So they're all just propagandized and all their humor is drained from their soul. But it also happens on the right too. And it happens a lot with nepotism. So these kids who come from rich and privileged families whose parents either own a company or have some kind of high stake in a pre-existing business, or they know somebody and they can just slide them right in without having to work their way up. Doing hard, shitty jobs is essential to building up a good work ethic. I think you rob yourself, you rob your kids, you rob your friends of depriving them of those low-paying jobs, because that makes you have to work with a vast array of people. Like, the left always loves to talk about diversity, but I'm all about diversity of thought. And when you're working with people who are minimum wage, they are, college kids, high school kids, immigrants, and I've worked with every single person across the entire spectrum and learned to deal with all of them, and hey, fucking always made them crack up. And you just hone that ability. You don't hone that ability when you have people that are just so one-track mind, so focused on either climbing the ladder or burning it down by instituting their shitty ideologies. I'm a big proponent of hard work and persistence. I think you guys have probably heard me mention that a couple of times, but you need to have a laugh along the way, and you need to understand that the best shit in life happens on accident. You can come across an idea and it doesn't necessarily have to manifest itself immediately, but you can take that if you realize the gift that's around you and you can hone it and create it into something better. But I'd like to hear from you guys. What do you think? Do you think hard work and these shitty jobs really form a lot of character, or am I totally off on this one and people coming out of university are better off I'm not saying that they won't immediately get better positions, but you are really depriving yourself of not working those really terrible jobs. But that's my opinion. I'd love to hear you guys discuss that in the comment section down below. Y'all know I'm very active. If you drop a comment on there, if it makes sense, I'll drop a corresponding comment and try to spark up a conversation with you, because if you guys are going to take the time to watch these videos, I'm definitely going to take the time to engage with y'all. But with that said, I thank you again for the gift of your time, and I've been Don Consuelo. I want you guys to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.